it really attracts a lot of people who are actively seeking for healing, conscious practices, healing modalities. There is an enormous holistic community here, right? Yeah. It seems as if people are traveling to Portugal in order to have this experience, and also ocean surfing and everything combined, right? So it's easier for people to just get contained with the energy on the dance floor, right? Yeah. But what I'm aiming for is that more and more people also here in Portugal are activating into stepping into service. So not only consuming the rituals and the practices and the ceremonies, but also being able to offer them in their countries, in our countries, because I'm also an expat, and bringing this energy back home. And I would love to know what is your look on that, this kind of community is growing, and the awareness is being expanded, and people are activating more and more. Did you notice that also in your communities? And
Definitely, yeah. Like the ecstatic dance scene is growing, the conscious scene is growing. I think it's all around the world, but Portugal is one of those hotspots. Like there is, I don't know, Tulum, Bali, Mykonos, like many places on earth which are like little paradises, naturally, where people gather to celebrate their humanness in that, yeah, conscious new age, whatever we want to call it. So I do see that growth happening. That is also a part of why ecstatic dance was the way for me, which is like there's a market demand for it, and there's not even just the market demand in that perspective, but also there's like the people are looking for it. We want it. We are receptive to it. We're ready for it. So the fact that that is the state of the people really helps to build that foundation and build community. Because if people are not receptive, you can really work hard and put yourself out there, and it's not going to flow. Yeah.
It's true. And we're talking about Portugal, but specifically here near Ericeira, it's gathering a lot of people of that vibration. And I'm not sure if there was anything before you started with ecstatic dance Ericeira, or did you begin and
there was.
Right.
Yeah, so in terms of the history of ecstatic density side of this concept, it actually started way back with a woman called Shivani. She's like the founder of the brand now. I think that's what she's mostly focused on, which is the cacao brand, Cacao Fish. So yeah, but she traveled away. She wasn't doing, like, she started it, but it was also happening in Ericeira and Sesimbra. So it wasn't exactly this monthly event happening in Ericeira. But she's the one that started Ecstatic Dance in Ericeira. And then there was like the House of the Rising Mojo, and there were already communities and places, and like the scene was already happening. What I came to bring was a monthly event, a recurring thing where we can actually like, plant a seed and keep watering it, and with this effort of, consistency and keeping it alive, yeah, at a regular frequency.
hello and welcome to the space of the Conscious Co-Creators. We are here today joined by two honorable guests. My name is Uma, and I'm here also with Shani. We're going to share with you a little bit of their story, and they will share as well as a big inspiration.
Yes, it's amazing to be joined here today by Aniruddhan and Gautami. They are starseeds who have an incredible energy and wonderful wisdom to share with us today. So, very excited to open this space and begin this conversation with you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for the invitation.
Yeah, it's very nice to be here.
So you guys have been doing intuitive healing and psychic healing for all your lives. Would you please share a little bit of how everything started for you? And when did you discover that you have a gift and you want and have to share it with the others, with the society, with the people? And how was this journey for you?
Would you like me to start?
Yes.
Um, okay, well, as a child, um, unfortunately, I was, perceived as different because I was a little different. So my parents, luckily, my mother recognized I was different. So, that was a little awkward because I was always told I was different and I always wanted to fit in.
Mm.
So, there was the struggle between wanting to fit in and kind of knowing I was different. In that difference that I had is I had a natural touch. So I would touch people when I was young. And so everybody wanted me to touch them because they always felt, and I was naturally drawn to massaging or just rubbing someone's shoulders. And I was drawn to putting my hands on people. So it became something that, my family, would like be drawn, to, will you rub my shoulder? Will you, put, so I was naturally, without knowing anything, uh, doing healing as a child, relieving the tension, helping people feel better. I did also learn my voice had an effect. So, growing up and just naturally that was a gift that I just knew I had. And, you know, being told I was different from the very beginning and wanting to fit in,
Mm.
I obviously had a, you think everyone is like you. But obviously, being a little different, it was hard for me to understand why people would be violent, why people would kill each other, or why they would be destructive. So I never really could understand it, the destructiveness. And when I was growing up as a kid, I saw that in school, people, kids throwing rocks and breaking windows and being violent and beating each other up. And I saw war, and it was something that really I couldn't understand it. As a starseed, I come from a dimension where there is no duality. There's only love. That's my reality. I live in a world where there is no evil. So you got to understand in that unified field, and my body's wired that way. I can't comprehend it. I mean, I can play the game, but I can't comprehend. I have no ability to really comprehend evil or bad. What is bad? It doesn't exist where I come from. So I only can say that now because I'm an adult, but that I knew that as a kid. And then I have a feeling inside of me that people don't have. I can feel the love of God 24 hours a day, all the time. People do drugs because they want to feel good. I've tried them, but they don't have any effect on me. They just make me feel normal. Because I'm always like I found out when I was young that I always feel like people are trying to feel. Like they're doing a drug to try to feel this incredible connection, this bliss. And I realized I'm always feeling that. I always feel that. So that emotionally is at times overwhelming. I had to learn how to control that.
Right.
Because it's so emotionally overwhelming that I would cry very easily. Tears can come to my eyes very easily. If I tune in too strongly to that inner bliss, my eyes water.
I make me tear right now.
Okay, so
Wow.
so I have to be careful. Don't connect to that, please. But anyway, yeah. So then
much
I have to.
emotion.
There is that place. So then I have to kind of disconnect from that energy because it does. It just emotionally overwhelms me. It makes my eyes water. So But that's happening all the time. So I had to learn how to kind of suppress that. And that was one of the problems that I had in my life is the suppression of my gifts. It's like she did the same thing. You know, we try to fit in. So we try to, do the game, play the game, compete and, follow the rules, so to speak. So, there were times where we might have taken other paths. I did sports or, I wanted to be popular. So, I would choose, more of what other human beings would do, again, like a name, fame, and fortune, right? So there was a time where I wanted to have name, fame, and fortune. I wanted to be successful. So that was, um, the yin and the yang of the journey. That was the yin and yang in journey. So I
That's
survived.
amazing. Wow. I feel so touched by what you shared there, and the energy is powerful and it's true. So what you shared is that you've always felt this way, the love, and you were at a certain time when you were younger being told to suppress who you are to fit in.
Well,
So
I mean, society was,
was
obviously
pushing you.
my gift. Yeah, I mean, for me to be an emotional young man, boys don't cry. Right?
Mm,
You're supposed to be strong, right? So then,
right.
and also I'm supposed to fight back.
So,
So you corner me and you be aggressive. I'm supposed to be, I'm supposed to. So I had a very difficult time.
so I'm wondering, when you were younger, did you view it as a gift or did you feel almost like it was a curse, or when you were
Of
trying to fit
course.
in?
Of course, I mean, yes. So there was, the idea of that, that it was a blessing in disguise. So yes, you could say there were times it was, that's a good statement. I can't say I would identify it as that, but yes, for sure that fits very well. That the gift I had, I felt at times, I always tried to get it to go away. I could never get it to go away. So I mean, I even, so again, you could say even doctors tried to get it to go away. They told me it wasn't normal, so they tried to give me drugs because they, my mom didn't allow it, but they wanted to drug me as a child because I was always happy. They told me it's not right.
It's not normal that you're so happy.
Yeah, that's what they said. It's not. You're not. That's not normal. You should not always be happy. That's what the doctor said. My mom listened to that when she stopped taking me to the doctor when they told me, that's unhealthy to be always happy. So they wanted to give me drugs so they could stop me from always being happy. So that's like.
But that's very interesting what you say, because even in non-duality, there are two polarities of the same. So if we are happy, we are always sad, but this is the same. It's an emotion, right?
Well, you're talking duality. I'm not from duality. I don't live in duality. You got to understand, I don't really live here. Okay. I live in heaven right here constantly.
Good,
That's where
yes.
I live. This is the fifth dimension.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
So when you learn to live from your heart, then you can be a real human being. Okay. So we have a lot of lost human beings on the planet, most of us, and they're not living from their heart. But then again, society doesn't want you to, because then you're going to be happy and not buy their drugs and do what they want and take their job, work your whole life to make money, to buy your house or to retire and think you're going to take your vacation. They don't want you to be in your heart. Society wants you to be in duality, work, be a slave, right? That's the point. So you're being groomed away from your heart. Every human being with a cell phone is groomed away from their heart.
Yeah, that's a reality.
Yeah, sadly. But we're going to change it. I'm here.
Yeah.
I came to
We're here
change
for
and bring
this.
in the Aquarian age. So
Yes, beautiful.
I came here. I survived this far. So now I'm going to complete my job.
Yeah, you're definitely representatives of the indigo children. Gautami, would you share a little bit about your journey?
Yes, I really born with the gift to feel and listen
and see different dimensions since little girl, baby. I remember I have dreams with these trips out of the world and see geometric shapes, energies. And I share with my dad, and he was very sweet. He bought me this game with these atoms. You paint and you do this. And he asked me, "Is this you see?" And I really was seeing these atoms, energies, and everything. But in same way, I was feeling everything from people, their emotions, and I was feeling a little overwhelmed because I have premonitions, uh, very anchor, and the sum of them was very difficult because, for example, I was feeling death, like people are going to die in this way, and really happen. And in some point, I was feeling like, oh my gosh, it's me doing it. I was very scared. I was beginning to feel like is my energy is creating this. But I have a beautiful parents, very spiritual, and they took me to a mediums. We have meetings in our home. They come and they see. I used to channel people that like one day we have a meeting and I begin to talk through a little voice, a baby voice, and my dad thought, oh, was my brother because he has two brothers die very 5 years old or something because they eat poison fruit, they die, and I begin to talk, and my dad was the one recognized the voice of their brothers, and I was talking. I don't need this anymore because the energy is like a conversation you are having. But in that moment, it's like very dense energy, and it's like I take over my body and the energy come through. They teach me to use in a good way to help and to guide. But I was very young and was very difficult for me because I have experience with my family, special my mom, my dad, and my uncle. First was my uncle. Was I was in a bed and he came to me and embraced me and tell I'm going. And I was feeling he's going. The next day at 10 a.m. we receive a call. We receive a call and I was in the stairs upstairs and my mom told, what? And I told, was my uncle die? And yes, he died. And I knew that was my difficult experience. And I was fainting in the floor for more than 2 hours. The doctor came. They didn't see anything. That was this shock in my system. And then later on was about my dad. My dad had a cancer, a very severe cancer. When they discovered the cancer, they gave him 2 months to live. Of course, he lived more, 2 years. That was a night when I was in my bedroom. He was in his bedroom, and I was feeling these gloves, like these white hands lift him. And I wake up and I went to his bedroom and I thought, Dad, are you okay? And he told me, yes, I'm okay. I went to my bed again. The next morning, he knocked in my door and asked me, why you came, what you feel? And you know that I was feeling these beautiful gloves like angels lift you. And he told me, yes, I felt that. I'm very peaceful, he told me. He was preparing to die. He died the next day in a house. Another one was my mom. 6 months before she died, I see clear the way she's going to die. Of course, I received a call from her. I was working, and she called me. I have some pain in my leg, and okay, I'm going right now to take you in a hospital, and because I knew somehow it's going to. And I took her to the hospital. She stayed there for almost all day. They told me to go back to work and they will call me when they call me at the 6. Okay, you can pick up your mom. I went to the hospital. I pick up my mom. I was with my little daughter, and then we went to house. But then my mom told me I am not feeling very well, and she was diabetic. I told her, I'm going to stop. I'm going to buy apple for you. And my daughter was in a bag. I told Sarah, if so for some reason the grandmom gets worse, please call me. She called me in the window, Mom, come. She's not feeling well, but I brought the apple and she was eating the apple. And we went to the house. We stopped the car. She told me, I'm going upstairs to the bathroom. And then I told, okay, I have some soup for you. I'm going to heat the soup and I'm bringing the soup upstairs. When I come to the bathroom, she was already dead there in the bathroom. I took her, I tried to, recover her. My daughter was around, my dog was around, and I knew she's going to die. I saw it and was for me very traumatized. After she died, I was looking to the mirror and she was always in my back. I saw her and I look at her and she disappeared. And it's this type of experience I had. Um, and this goes, and my daughter also had that gift when she born. Of course, she blocked herself, but I remember the teacher used to call me at home at the school to tell me, oh, she's always looked to the window. She always looked to the window. And I asked one time to her, what do you see in the window? And she told, I see my grandmom. She's always there. Look at me in the school. You know, she has that gift. She's blocked herself. And I also blocked myself for some time. But I used to have this type of meetings with mediums where I used to do surgeries with my finger and take pain for people. Of course, everything was, nobody knew that. It's like secret. We meet because I'm from Chaves, the north of Portugal. It's a Roman city, very close. Of course, they didn't understand this type of. But I used to do these sessions. I was having my work, but doing these sessions without any people. Nobody knew. It's like secret. But since I came to Lisbon, this was like a big change. I really thought I won't be myself, and I assume I have this, and my goal is this spiritual path. And I remember when New Year's even, I was thinking like I'm ready to receive my partner. But this partner should have this spiritual path because I'm not going to deny anymore. I want someone in my life really is in a path of spiritual path and come and accept me the way I am. And I met Aniruddha like in the end of that month. I wrote a letter also. I wrote and I burned the letter and boom. I met Aniruddha, a friend of mine told me, it's a person, this American come to do a meditation in Hindu temple. Do you want to come? Yeah. I said, of course, everything about meditation. And I went. When I saw him, it's like, wow, it's him. And he was teaching the meditation, and I felt that I knew this type of meditation. And then I did the workshop with him, and I have a beautiful experience in workshop. I began moving this like very slow. I remember like this. I was feeling in a different dimension, and my body was moving beautifully. And then I asked, I want a session with you, private session with you. And that was like done. I have this amazing experience. I was feeling him in the same time. I was in his body, and when he did the healing for me, I was giving birth. I was a Roman, like I have this shield, like a Roman type of war. Like I have this very quick experience. I thought, wow, it was amazing. Means for me, we activate each other. Was this feeling? We create this feeling like I know. It's like we are two
Yeah.
bodies. I can feel it. We come to this earth, and okay, we are the same oversoul, but we are split in two bodies.
Well said.
We,
Mm,
yeah.
wow, so powerful, amazing. I'd love to hear your side of that when you met for the first time as well.
Um,
Thank you for sharing that.
So incredible.
Pleasure.
you know, to go a little bit back, it is kind of humorous to me because I grew up in the '60s in California, so I grew up very identified with the hippie movement, rock and roll. I always had long hair, and as soon as I could grow a beard, I pretty much my whole life have had a big beard, hair on my face. And so, I was more drawn to like cotton clothing and, you know, you know, more gypsy style, so to speak, dress, hippie style.
Mm.
Hmm.
Um, so, uh, Gautami was the very, first person that I ever met that did not fit that picture at all. And I had never been attracted to a woman ever that would dress, or she had makeup, and when I first met her, she had her hair was done, and she was so different than anything that I would ever imagine being attracted to as a woman. Or I just everything, wasn't my style. So it was very interesting. She broke all my molds. And even today, and I always wear cut, I dress my way, and she also had to adjust to the fact that I don't dress like a Portuguese. I don't wear clothes like a Portuguese. I'm, so I always look a little different, and, you know, um, and I will dress, maybe, considered strange here. The way I dress would be considered strange. So for her, it was also a challenge because we would go out and I would, so that aspect was very interesting, and I wouldn't have expected that I would end up partnering with her. But again, the connection, even though at first it was only really when I did the private session with her, and I did take the shield off. I pulled, because when I do work, I pull things out of people, and it's from past lives. So I can pull knives out of people. I can pull armor off. I had to pull the shield off her, and I actually pull it off. I undo it and I rip the things off. So when that shows up, I free the past
Experience.
incarnational burden that they
Yeah.
carry. So
Well
she was
said.